1, then expected into Plymouth by 3:30 and Rochester by just before 4 o'clock. For destructive wind in excess of 70 miles per hour, we are inside, away from windows, away from trees. This kind of wind can be very destructive and knock out trees, so keep that in mind as well. This is a highly dangerous and destructive situation. That's what this is warned for right now. That's for this line, and we can kind of see some bends and buckles in here. We're not at a point where we have the best radar signature being out this far. Keep that in mind. We're not in the best location for this, but this is something we're going to watch very closely. So if you're in this highlighted box, if you live anywhere in this camera view right now, inside, you're prepared for the storm threat as we are moving in here. So again, keep this in mind. Going out for our wider view, continuing to track this line of severe thunderstorms right now. Now starting to bow into LaPorte County, St. Joseph County, and Berrien County. We can go in for a closer scan right now. If you're just joining us, it is 3:08 p.m. Line of bowing storms starting to cut into LaPorte County and towards the New Prairie area as well. So if we have, again, I know we have crews headed towards the New Carlisle area right now. They can stage or get their shot up as well. And we've already seen the rain moving into portions of Berrien County. So this is not far from South Bend. This will reach South Bend by 3:30. This line is moving slightly slower than the southern line, but this is the first part that's already started to kind of make that landfall off of Lake Michigan, move into our area. Let's look at the number of lightning strikes right now. Very good high number of lightning strikes. In fact, we can go at an info box here, and I'll give you a rough estimation of just within this rectangle. Within this rectangle, we have 78 to 100 lightning strikes in the past 20 to 30 minutes. This number continues to increase. We know that this line is strengthening. Right now, this line is being warned for wind up to 60 miles per hour. So let's look inside the storm. Let's look at our velocity. Not seeing a high signature in here just yet. Keep in mind, not getting the cleanest radar data at this point due to its distance from the radar, but this part of the line up to 60 miles per hour. Let's scan a little bit southward. Let's go back. This will switch over to the Chicago radar, which is why this is turning red. But you see these high peaks in here, the red, the really bright red to orange. That's warned for about 70 miles per hour. Now, this is at a far distance from that radar site in Joliet, Illinois. So there's some math involved here that if it's this speed at this height, still near the surface, there's that concern for wind up to 70 or 80 miles per hour, especially considering how hot and humid it is right now. Here's our current situation. 3:10, line of thunderstorms now cutting into LaPorte, Berrien, and heading towards South Bend. ETA on South Bend storms is 3:30 this afternoon with wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour and a number of lightning strikes. Anyone outside that you know, they need to be inside now. Inside, away from window. We are taking shelter now across northern Indiana and southwest Michigan. We are definitely on standby for Starke County, Pulaski County, as we have the possibility of very strong destructive wind there in excess of 70 miles per hour. That can knock over trees. That can flatten trees. And so that is a high threat. Get away from windows, inside your house, and get to a place where you know above your head there are not a large tree that can fall upon you. That is often the biggest killer here in Michiana. Here's the radar picture. We've seen the rain now pouring through Berrien County. Let's go back to that shot right now. ABC 57's Jordan Hatfield is in the bluff area of St. Joe, and you can see there the rain has pushed through. The worst has pushed through St. Joe already. Some clues we look for. It's a little windy, but even in this view, I just don't see trees laying everywhere on the ground or a lot of limbs down. That's a good clue for us that maybe this northern part of the line is not as severe as the possibility of the southern portion of the line. Now, we also have the mobile weather tracker. When we can take that shot, let's take a shot of that as well. ABC 57's meteorologist Dave Caulfield is in that. He's heading southbound towards Plymouth. So right now he's on Michigan Street heading south. They're almost to the bypass at Ireland. That's the stoplight there. See those clouds building? And so he's going to be on that intercept point as the line likely moves into the Plymouth area. But we've got a lot of clouds building, that convection that's happening right now because of the heat, because of the humidity. Our bug's saying right now 89 degrees here at the station. I tell you, it feels every bit of it. That is storm fuel. That's why we're on standby, and we're kind of seeing, well, what was going to pop up this afternoon and when. Line was developing across Illinois and has since started to accelerate a little bit. Let's come back to the radar picture. We got a side-by-side going on. And you can see right here, here's the line of severe thunderstorms about to move into South Bend. And then we have this highlighted orange and red box across our south. And that's for a warning up to 80 miles per hour. Right now, this is just starting to cut into the San Pierre area. So we're talking western portions of Starke County. Again, this area right here. You can see the Wheatfield area, but into western portions of Starke County is where we're starting to see, again, the higher threat, at least right now, starting to come online. This is the updated storm track right now. So Knox still with an ETA around 2:21 Central Time. So that's within the next 5 to 10 minutes or so. 5 to 10 minutes for Knox. Plymouth around 3:36. So Plymouth, we're giving you the warning right now. Get inside, get prepared. Power outages are possible. Severe weather is coming. Plymouth by just after 3:30. So we're giving you 15 to 20 minutes of lead time. This is your first warning right now for Plymouth. 20-minute lead time of a line of storms with the potential of 70+ mile per hour wind. Get inside, get prepared now. Rochester, we're giving you a lead time of over 30 minutes. You have more than 30 minutes. I know you're probably looking outside right now. What is Tom talking about? There's no storm in sight. We're giving you this warning ahead of time because this is moving quickly and we need this extra lead time to get you in your safe spot. Winnemac as well. The Winnemac area likely sometime around 3:30. So this is a very important timeline for the most destructive warned part of the storm right now. Currently moving into La Crosse, near the Knox area and around Plymouth and down towards Rochester. These are the areas that are warned primarily for the strongest wind. Severe thunderstorm warnings, again, for this line of storms. It's like we have a new update on this line of storm as well. So we now have this updated line of storms for the potential for 70 mile per hour wind now in St. Joseph County as well. So again, 70 mile per hour, a considerable threat here and a destructive threat for our southern counties. So again, now we're warning for 60 to 70 across St. Joseph County and 70 to 80 across Starke, Pulaski, Marshall, and Fulton County. So this is an alert for everyone to get inside away from windows. This will be moving into the South Bend area very soon. We'll go back in and we'll start tracking again. Again, staying very close-handed on this as far as the storm threat we are currently seeing right now. We'll zoom in, go for a closer scan, and again, right in here onto the South Bend area, moving into South Bend very soon. I'm going to get an updated information on this warning. The updated information on this warning is now up to 70 miles per hour. 70 miles per hour. This includes South Bend, Mishawaka. South Bend, Mishawaka, Granger, all of St. Joseph County warned for wind up to 70 miles per hour. So again, we need you inside, away from windows. The speed on this now moving east at about 45 miles per hour. So I'm going to give a timeline here of strong, possibly destructive wind now moving into South Bend very soon. Still not getting the best radar scan update as far as the velocity goes, but that is our top concern right now. So this is moving up to about 45 miles per hour. Destructive wind possible up to 70 miles per hour, moving into South Bend, into the Elkhart area as well. So this is an updated timeline for Berrien and St. Joseph County. Stand by here, updated timeline here for Berrien and St. Joseph County. Strong storms are imminent and happening. These warnings for up to 70 miles per hour now across our area. Breaking into programming, we are going wall to wall for warnings of 70 to 80 mile per hour wind being possible. A Boeing line of thunderstorms, Niles, South Bend. Niles, South Bend, imminent. 320 in Niles. South Bend, 326. So again, giving you that lead time of 5 minutes or a little more. Stand by here at the station. Any outdoor shots that we have here in Greater South Bend, highly interested in those as well, as the storm front is cutting in currently. So moving towards Bremen and Goshen. Bremen and Goshen giving you that warning time for the next 30 plus minutes to stand by. You're not under a warning yet, but we're going to see how this rolls through. I'm going to be interested in talking to my people in the back. I can see out the window here, but having that outside shot ready as well. When the storm front moves over, how strong is that wind? Is this 70-mile-per-hour wind gust verifying? That's what we're most concerned with. Until the storm front really cuts in and we start getting more reports in, it's hard to know how strong these wind gusts are. But we have still a good number of lightning strikes. In fact, let's go back and let's do a double check again. What is the number of lightning strikes we're currently seeing through here? Still a very good number of lightning strikes as we go out a little bit wider. Again, still tracking things very closely. That line continues to cut in here. Line continues to cut in here as we have the line of lightning and thunderstorms cutting in, and that's bowing nature of this line, kind of a red flag for meteorologists for strong wind. That's happening right now, warned for 70 to 80 miles per hour currently. This line of storms moving in, still warned for up to 80 miles per hour for Starke County, Marshall County, Starke County, Marshall County, Pulaski County, Fulton County, Knox, Plymouth, Winamac, Rochester. If you're in that greater area, this portion of the line warned for up to 80 miles per hour currently. Inside, away from windows. This is our top concern, at least right now. Inside, away from windows, as we see this storm threat continue to push off towards the east. Updated positioning on this right now. Here's the latest update as far as this line is concerned. So again, we're zoomed in, we're hyper-focused on these specific areas. I can update this storm track as well. We're still looking at South Bend within the next 5 minutes or so. So 5-minute warning for South Bend, already seeing this move in. Inside, away from windows. We are live streaming right now, warning across the north up to 70, warning across the south up to 80 miles per hour. Even if it's not happening at this moment, that potential is there with this bowing line of thunderstorms. This is the updated storm track we're seeing right now, South Bend to Elkhart to Goshen. We've not expanded the warning just yet. We're going to see what this front actually does. But given the bowing nature of this line of storms, an increasing number of lightning strikes, the probability that this has some strong wind with it is pretty high. Already kind of seeing trees outside of our studio. I can see through here what is going on there, that there likely is at least a good number of wind gusts that's coming with this storm. So again, we're keeping our eye on things very closely. Let's take a look at the number of lightning strikes just within that same rectangle. If you recall before, the number was at 78. Now the number is 108. This is a sign the storm is likely increasing in intensity. May have not been at its strongest coming off of Lake Michigan, but this line is likely getting stronger right now across Berrien County, moving currently into Niles and almost into South Bend. So focused in, number of lightning strikes has increased. A couple storms out in front of this. We'll see if the warning gets expanded here. But right now my concern is South Bend, Mishawaka, Niles for the potential for wind gusts up to 70 miles per hour is a real possibility right now. So we go in on the closest scan we can get. Let's get down to close to street level. And again, you'll see kind of in here, Bertrand Township, just starting to enter inside the bypass with that strongest wind. This likely will precede the actual rain and thunderstorm. So moving very close into South Bend right now. If you are outside, get inside. If you're watching me, make sure you're away from windows. Make sure there's nothing that could fall on your head. If there's a big tree near your house, you don't want to be on that side of the house. This is the life-saving information I'm giving you to be in the best position possible. Inside, away from windows. If you can get to the basement, again, get to your safest spot in your home right now for destructive wind of 60, 70, 80 miles per hour being possible right now, currently cutting into St. Joseph County. Let's see if we can get an updated velocity scan. That data hasn't been cleaned so far, but again, the latest look at this, it's still not the cleanest signature that I've seen as far as the radar data that's coming into our system, but there is the possibility of strong winds still as we were warned for this storm. So keep that in mind. We still have that concern for strong wind. Let's go back. We will reset this information. And again, the radar signature just that we're seeing at least right now, a bowing line of storms moving in here. So you can see this bowing line likely has strong wind. We're going to have a shelf cloud that's moving in. I've noticed that the light has diminished greatly outside of our studios, and so we're on that standby right now. St. Joseph County, South Bend, standby, wind gust potential up to 70 miles per hour. I'm going to go back over here and log on to our NWS chat and see if there's any updates there as far as any storm reports coming in. Again, we currently have warnings. A few reports are starting to come in. We have a Berrien County wind measurement of 54 miles per hour with the gust that came in and off the lake. Around 3 p.m. a wind gust of 41 up in St. Joe. So we've had in the Benton Harbor, St. Joe area, the earlier reports were 40 to 50 miles per hour. We'll see if we start seeing more reports in out of South Bend, possibly in excess of 70 miles per hour as we're starting to get the front moving past the airport. We'll have a recorded wind gust soon. That'll give us more information down the line to warn Elkhart County. Boeing line of thunderstorms, rain about to start, a lot of lightning moving into St. Joseph County right now. Here's the big picture. You can see this line. We've been live on air since just after 3 o'clock. The watch was issued, updated you on the First Warning Neighborhood Weather app, and here we are now live on ABC 57 tracking a widespread severe line of thunderstorms. Every bit of hot and humid out there, and that line is now cutting in right now. Numerous numbers of lightning strikes. We can go in, let's give you another info box, just kind of highlighting a rough rectangle here. Let's get this box right in here. Rough number of lightning strikes, 156. I've been measuring roughly the same area so far, and that number has been increasing, telling me that we probably have a more severe line of storms that continue to move in. We're beginning to see things get dark here at the station. I am not seeing, I'm looking outside our own window here, not seeing the wind blow about a lot at this moment, but there is that potential there. But I can tell you that the lightning is coming and the storm is coming. This, as you can see, also just outside of our studios right now. This is a side-by-side picture. I'll go back and we'll go back to a side-by-side mode. Again, you can see here what we continue to watch as we look across most of northern Indiana. We're kind of on that standby right now. The yellow outlined area across the north for 70, the red outlined across the south for a warning up to 80 miles per hour. Going to reset here and we'll go off the top here. Keep that outside shot up here for the next few minutes. We'll go back to that outside shot as I hear the rain just about to start here. Looking outside of our studios, not seeing the wind blowing around too much, but again, we're just starting to see everything kind of start here as we go inside or outside. That was the live shot, or a live shot that we have up of the mobile weather tracker most likely. If we can get that outside shot up, I can start to see the wind moving a little bit outside of our studio. So that's what we're seeing here. There's that outside shot, trees blowing a little bit. We have not seen the rain come just yet. Typically, the strong wind gust precedes the wind just by a little bit, but we're on standby mode. Part of this is actually verifying those warnings as they continue to move through of what we're actually seeing. So this is the outside shot. We're watching those trees very, very closely to see how they continue to move in, at least right now. See if anything will be changing here in the next few minutes. But again, keeping our eyes peeled as far as how this storm is moving in. We can see it on radar. We know it's moving in right now, and we continue to be hyper-focused on that front that continues to work its way in, at least right now. Severe thunderstorm warning for South Bend, Mishawaka, not including Elkhart at this time. I'm going to update the timeline for everyone, and we'll see if that wind verifies as it moves through. We have 3:30 p.m. for Cassopolis, Elkhart at 3:43, Bremen for 3:50, Goshen for almost 4 o'clock, and then Millersburg on past 4 o'clock at 4:11. Good number of lightning strikes, Boeing line of thunderstorms, warnings for 70 to 80 miles per hour, but I'm not seeing, again, I'm using my own eyes to look for where is that wind, where is that gust front. Not seeing it just yet. Does not mean that it's not existing, but when we have the warnings like we are right now, we're telling you to get inside, away from windows. We have our own criteria here at ABC 57. Once you start seeing these warnings for 70 or 80, we're on air, we're online, we're telling you get inside because this is life-threatening weather if those gusts verify. So this is the information we're giving you right now. Good number of lightning strikes. Timeline for Goshen would be almost 4 o'clock. Currently moving into South Bend right now. Still not outside of our station seeing that heaviest bit. If we can go side by side with boxes again, we'd love to continue to see that outside shot if possible of what's going on. Good cluster of lightning over portions of LaPorte County, and again, still watching that very closely. This is the line that continues to cut through. So there's our outside shot. I'll go back here. So side by side, this is the outside shot right here at ABC 57. I can see roughly that same view outside, and we're kind of waiting on that rain to start. We're waiting on that lightning to start. So everything is kind of just on standby at this very moment. Keep this side-by-side view up real quick. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit closer here on the radar picture so we get very close to our side-by-side. We are approximately right here. So the wind is moving in right at this point, and so we're going to see things change fairly rapidly here at our stations. Keep that side-by-side shot up at least right now, and we'll see if the wind picks up. So we are right now approximately at that point on the radar picture. Here we are, side-by-side, looking fairly closely as we see, again, what's up on the radar picture, at least right now, and then continuing to work its way in. So going in for this closer scan, at least right here, you can see the line right through here as we're seeing this. This is the line of severe weather about to start in South Bend, already moving into the northwest side of South Bend, also towards Lakeville. We have the mobile weather tracker moving towards the Plymouth area to see if this destructive wind threat verifies. We warn for this, but there's a bit of a radar gap. There's a bit of a gap in the radar coverage that doesn't give us the best information. We go based off some reports. We go also based off some radar indication that, hey, it's a Boeing line of storms moving into an environment that has the potential to be very strong. Now, what we've not seen is any expansion of these warnings. Also a critical clue that maybe we're not seeing the verification here. I'm not seeing the wind really blow the trees outside. So we're here for you. We're telling you there's warnings for this. Does not mean that they're going to verify or the wind's going to be that strong. That may be frustrating for you, but again, this is the best information we have with the tools we have at this time. That's what we're warning you about. This line continues to cut through, updating on the warning. We're going to go back out to another South Bend live shot. You can see this just outside. This is outside of our studios right now. Still waiting for that wind to really pick up. Again, we've had long crews here kind of working, and they've seen them kind of run back and forth right now with that storm threat that is definitely impending. My bigger concern for anybody outside is the number of lightning strikes and getting inside to your safe spot. This line of storms, I've not seen this line worsen. So good news, though, for anyone who's in portions of Marshall County or Fulton County. While this is currently warned up to 80 miles per hour, I've not really seen the threat in my eyes increase. So yes, there is a warning for this, but so far I've not really seen a lot of this warning verify in the most serious sense. But this warning currently for up to 80, the warning across the north for up to 70. I'm not seeing many reports of that so far, and given how the line is acting, we may not be seeing that verified. So this is the current situation. Yellow box across the north, this warning, that's for 70, that's for 80. Are either of those wind gusts happening? It doesn't appear to be at this time. Doesn't mean that it can't. And so that's why we're on air right now and telling you to stand by, get inside, away from windows. This is the most updated timeline if the warning expands towards Elkhart around 3:43, towards Goshen closer to 4 o'clock. So this line has moved in here. Good cluster of thunderstorms, at least at this time, but maybe not producing the strongest of wind. We've not seen this move in here. I'm walking off here just to get some more information, see if there are any new reports coming in down the line. And no, those are the latest weather reports that I have, at least so far. Have not seen a large number of severe weather reports, at least in our area. Good number of reports that stretch back into portions of Illinois. This is downtown South Bend right now, a shot there, stoplight there, rain coming down, you can definitely see that, but we don't see a lot as far as the wind. And the radar indicating, that rain is about to move in there. Good downpour, but traffic doesn't look to be greatly interrupted. We can see some of the trees swaying there, so we are getting at least some wind. But again, those are younger trees. They're not the largest of trees, and they're still standing. So while we're seeing the warning for wind up to 70 miles per hour, we're not seeing that. This is another shot. This is Quince Road and State Road 2, so this is western St. Joseph County. So this is underneath that heavy rain in the western part of the county. and definitely verifying a very good strong downpour. But look at the trees. We're not seeing them bent over. That's kind of our context clues when we're just looking at anything that's happening. Yes, people are running from rain. It's definitely unpleasant weather, but I have not seen, now that the rain is starting here at our station, I have not seen the trees being bent over or pushed around. That's the first thing we're going to look for when it comes to severe wind gusts. Yes, we have these warnings for 70 to 80 miles per hour coming off the lake, coming out of an area with low sample from the radar, and you have to make a best estimate, and the Weather Service said 70 to 80 miles per hour. Definitely the potential for severe weather moving in, but this is what we have right now. We're also not seeing an expansion of these warnings. It is possible that these warnings will expire here as we head over the next 15 minutes or so. That's a real possibility. We may not expand the warning for Elkhart County. Elkhart County, you should still be ready for what you're seeing, which is heavy rain, possibly some gusty wind and lightning. That is confirming. But as far as destructive wind, that is not something we're seeing confirming at this time. This line continues to collapse southward, heading towards the Plymouth area. We will be interested in what the mobile weather tracker brings us, but we're just not seeing the strongest of wind. I'm definitely hearing the rain pick up outside of our studio, wind a little bit, but just not seeing the strongest of wind. And from what I'm seeing right here, and then looking at this other picture, what you're seeing over here in this picture, you're seeing that wind is just not really an issue. So I expect more rain to be moving towards us, but not necessarily the wind. Here's a look towards the south, again, across Starke County. Looks fairly similar. Into Marshall County, Plymouth, you're standing by. Plymouth, by around 3:45, the rain will be picking up where you are. Same for the Rochester area. We are warned, the official warning, for 70 to 80 miles per hour. We are not seeing that happening. So we're telling you, best precaution, get inside away from windows. We're just not seeing that happening. I'm going to update our storm track feature as we continue to look at this storm, portion of the storm, for Marshall County and Fulton County. Updated timeline for Plymouth is around 3:42. So here we are, 3:35. So giving you about 5 to 8 minutes of lead time right now for the Plymouth area and most of Marshall County. Same for Rochester. Rochester giving you about 20 minutes of lead time as we head towards 4 o'clock there. The update on that warning. Here's the current situation. Again, these are the written warnings for 70 to 80 miles per hour. Looking at Notre Dame, South Bend, downtown South Bend, and western St. Joseph County of what's happening. And, you look for the clues. We don't really see people running for cover. We don't see a huge impact to traffic. We do see rain. We do have these written warnings for 70 to 80 miles per hour, but those warnings are not verifying. Again, sometimes best guess situation of what's going on. We're seeing this now decrease to a warning to 70 miles per hour from that distractor. So it's an update on that warning that we see right now. Let's go to the mobile weather tracker. ABC 57 First Warning Neighborhood Meteorologist Dave Caulfield is in the mobile weather tracker near Plymouth. They're moving down towards Plymouth right now. Do we have him live, or am I just talking over his shot? Right. Hey, Dave, you're in Plymouth area. Any verification from you of that destructive wind threat of 60 or even 70 mile per hour wind?
I'm here, Tom.
Dave, you probably got a bit of a delay. Do you have any verification of wind gusts of 60 or 70?
Yeah, sorry about that, Tom. So we're right now in downtown Plymouth here on Main Street or North Michigan, excuse me. Look at how dark these skies are, and we are looking towards these storms coming in. The sky is absolutely pitch black as we move down Michigan Street here. We're passing sort of the Plymouth Center with the Kroger on the left, and we're about to go under US 30 here, the sort of where it crosses over the junction here, and I just can't get over how dark these skies are. The wind is starting to pick up. I haven't noticed any big gusts yet, but We're starting to see some lightning strikes and no rain just yet, but absolutely stunning skies at this point as we look to the north and west right now. And you can see as we move now under US 30, you can see off in the distance sort of the economy in sign is starting to blow a little bit. And so this is sort of the end of Indiana 17. Look up here on the left. You can see the dealership here, the Chrysler Dodge Jeep. Look at those flags flowing. Look at the wind blowing through on the side there, and the tree right past this here is starting to bend a little bit, so we could really see these strong wind gusts as this powerful storm bears down on Marshall County and
let's take a break
the
from
Plymouth
Dave
area as we continue.
Dave, you're breaking up just a second. Stand by on Dave's shot because that's getting kind of interesting. Expansion of a warning now for Elkhart County, decreasing the threat to 60 miles per hour. But the rain right now, if we can go back to that 4-box, but definitely downtown South Bend, it is absolutely pouring right now. We have a heavy rain threat going on. So again, we have 3 of our shots up. Heavy rain currently happening right now. This is western St. Joseph County. This is Quince Road, State Road 2 at the gas station there. Heavy rain, and I'm looking also outside of our studios. The absolutely sheets of rain currently coming down. An expansion of the severe thunderstorm warning for Elkhart County for wind up to 60 miles per hour. The severe threat appears to be decreasing as far as wind. Again, we're not seeing people running for cover, and the leading edge would be the wind threat. So anything behind the line is the heavy rain threat. Good heavy rain. This is a look at downtown South Bend. ABC 57's Naja Wood behind the camera there. The rain coming down. Definitely some heavy rain that's currently happening right there. Downtown South Bend, western St. Joseph County, definitely seeing the heavy rain that is currently happening right now. As far as the wind threat appears to be decreasing. If we can get Dave back after showing this shot, I'd be very interested because the storm about to move into Plymouth right now. His shot's still down. That's not because of a serious situation, but that has to do with probably the intensity of the storm blocking cell signal. So we have this leading edge right now. You're seeing downtown South Bend, not to Elkhart. Elkhart very soon. I'm going to go over here and update the timeline for this. The timeline on this cell that you're currently seeing heavy rain in downtown South Bend and then moving towards the south and east. So this will move into the Elkhart area around 348. Around 348. In fact, I should get an update on that timeline as well to make sure that's right. The update, this storm is moving still at 45 miles per hour. So that's important information as well. So if you're in Bago Township, if you're in Elkhart, if you're in Goshen, this is your updated timeline right now of when you're going to be dealing with weather like this. Weather that is not as severe as was initially warned. That's good news. We don't root for severe weather. We break into programming to tell you about the threat of severe weather and whether that threat is increasing or decreasing. We look here, which is why we have live shots as much as possible to verify that information. And right now, we are verifying that it is not the strongest wind. And that's why we've seen the warnings have been reduced from a higher intensity because of verification that we are doing. But again, the Goshen area, as we move after 4 o'clock, Millersburg by 4:12 into the Sturgis area and also portions of LaGrange County. LaGrange County, still with you on that standby here as we head towards 4:30. Sheets of rain. I mean, it is absolutely pouring at the station here on the north side of South Bend and across much of St. Joseph County, heavy rain. We could have a flood advisory situation be prompted here if the rain is heavy enough, but absolutely sheets of rain that are currently moving through right now. Here's the line of thunderstorms. Boeing line of thunderstorms still moving through. Down towards the Plymouth area would be the strongest. Still waiting on standby for reports from meteorologist Dave Caulfield. When he gets back up on his live shot, we use a network of cell phones. We will have that information for you. But zooming in again for the closer scan, right now, storms moving into the Plymouth area with likely strong wind. We saw very dark clouds and possibly some wind moving in, but also heavy rain. So Plymouth right now, inside, away from windows, the threat there for 60, maybe even 70 mile per hour wind. Power outages are possible. But heavy rain Also warned, so stand by for Plymouth, stand by for the Bourbon area. Also go for Rochester. Heavy rain happening right now in Winnemac. Not seeing as much as far as lightning strikes in here. That could be a good thing as far as the intensity of these storms. I've not seen this area of the storm actually intensify. There were damaging wind reports back towards the west, but now they don't exist. So we've not seen a continuation of those damaging wind reports. That's what we look through and what we really go upon. We have radar information, but then we also go by the information of what the ground reports are also saying. We're just not seeing those updates that are indicating a lot of severe weather. So we have a 60-mile-per-hour warning and a 70-mile-per-hour warning. Prior to this, we had a 70 and 80-mile-per-hour warning. This is telling us that the severe wind threat is likely decreasing, at least right now, for our area. But we still have active warnings right now. Active warnings for 60 to 70 miles per hour, with that threat mostly decreasing in intensity. This line of storms, as you can still see this, I want to go over and I'm going to check with storm reports. So this is what we look for. What kind of verification are we having already? Do we have any strong wind indication? So a new report just coming in from the South Bend Airport very recently, this happening at 3:30 p.m., the wind gusts at the airport of 47 miles per hour. Remember, the warning was for 60 or 70 miles per hour. The strongest monitored wind gust was 47 miles per hour. So we are not verifying the fact that wind gusts have that severe potential. We are verifying there's every bit of heavy rain out there and a good number of lightning strikes. Still reason to get inside. But the updates on the warnings, they have decreased in intensity. So I just want you to know what you're most likely to see are not wind gusts of 60 miles per hour, but most likely a wind gust closer to 45 or 50 miles per hour in Elkhart County. But that could be a different thing for portions of Marshall County. Still waiting on reports there. The best way to verify that is with the mobile weather tracker. ABC 57 First Warning Neighborhood Meteorologist Dave Caulfield is into the Plymouth area. And Dave, what have you seen just in the past 5 minutes? Dave, go.
Yeah. Yeah, so Tom, we are right by the area in Plymouth where Blueberry Fest is about to get underway as we get into Labor Day weekend, and a bunch of tents have been blown over in the park there. We have a lot of big wind gusts that have been coming through as we make our way on Indiana 17 here. You can see the rain is picking up in intensity. And just a couple minutes ago, the amount that the sky was darkened and so quickly was really something to behold. I haven't seen a ton of damage just yet, but we are just initially sort of going through downtown Plymouth here, and this is still actively going on as I'm talking here as we wait at the light at Baker Street. But you can see sort of the wind sort of blowing sheets of rain over our car at this point. So this is definitely an intense storm. And look, we have our first site of tree damage there. Look at that, completely bending the North Street sign there. You saw that on the right-hand side. And so we're continuing to make our way up into downtown Plymouth on Indiana 17, as this is probably the most intense activity that we have seen yet. As people are dealing with these really gusty winds and heavy downpours and sheets of rain flowing over them, making travel pretty hazardous right now in the Plymouth area for folks that may be trying to make their way out and about as we move closer to downtown. You can see the tree branches here along Michigan Street, along Indiana 17, and there seems to be more tree damage. A tree snapped in half right now, right by St. Michael's. So we're continuing to see at this point a lot of tree damage starting to occur with these strong wind gusts. You can see the trees on the side just blowing around like crazy at this point. Tree branches are starting to litter the streets here. A lot of leaf damage as well, tree damage on the streets here as our car is starting to bump around a little bit. So a little bit closer to downtown, This is our first sight of this, as now we're catching the light at Jefferson Street, but you can see just how heavy it is raining as well in the intersection here as visibility goes down. And we're also seeing just really intense rainfall rates as well. So pretty intense storms moving through downtown Plymouth right now. We'll continue to keep you updated if we see more damage. Right now, live in Plymouth, meteorologist Dave Caulfield in the ABC 57 mobile weather tracker.
Thank you so much, Dave. Circle back and kind of case that same area for signs of damage. You have found really what is probably the most intense portion of the storm. This is why we have the mobile weather tracker. Widespread warnings, but it's not that each and every area is going to see the same impact. We highlighted Plymouth kind of as our go-to point because the warnings were more critical there, and we did at least find some damage and some tree damage. So if I extend out this storm track, I want to give a heads up to Warsaw right now. Based on Dave Caulfield's report that we do have some confirmed tree damage. Obviously, tents are not made to withstand often wind gusts of even 50 miles per hour. But we're probably verifying 50-plus mile-per-hour wind gusts from Plymouth now moving towards Warsaw. So if you're in the Warsaw area right now, 4:13 p.m., the estimated timeline when the strongest wind gusts will be there. Also relaying on this information as quickly as I could on Twitter to the National Weather Service, what Dave saw in Plymouth. We may see an extension of the warning now for Warsaw because of the information Dave gave us. So important information continuing to come in. North Webster by 4:19, Columbia City by 4:42. So that leading edge right now moving through Argus, Rochester knocking on your door. Rochester inside away from windows right now. There could be destructive wind or at least strong wind up to 60 miles per hour that can knock over tree limbs, break tree limbs, cause power outages, and cause all sorts of damage. So again, that is our concern at least right now as we focus on this line of storms. We'll go in for a bit of a closer scan. Again, a closer look right in here as we look towards the Rochester area. This is where we're seeing Argus, Richland Center, not quite to Rochester, is the leading edge of this line of storms. So we can kind of pan around here, move up towards the north as we'll continue to focus in. Right now, it's the leading edge. So just ahead of this rain, now just east of Argus towards Old Tiptown, towards the Bourbon area, Etna Green on standby. It looks like we now have a new updated warning. Remember the information that Dave just gave out. A new updated warning, and here we are. New severe thunderstorm warning now just being posted for Kosciusko County. Just as I told you moments ago, we verified the information. We found tree damage. That now extends the warning because we know there is a confirmed risk of wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour through Kosciusko County. So that warning is now for 60 miles per hour. All new warnings right now are for warnings up to 60 miles per hour. They have decreased. The early estimates on these warnings, when they are farther away from the radar, when we didn't have many reports, were for 70, 80 miles per hour. We have given you live information on air from a high threat to a lower threat because of the confirmation that we are doing. These warnings going until 4:30 p.m., 4:30 and 4:15. This warning until 4:15 p.m. This warning until 4:30 across Elkhart County. So again, watching things fairly closely here. This warning is being allowed to expire. These warnings outlined in black because they are just for 60 miles per hour going until 4:15, 4:30. So relaying that information to the back. We'll talk and we'll continue on at least until 4 o'clock, but we can continue on until 4:15, 4:30 as necessary for storms with that kind of wind threat. We continue on here, though. This is the line that we continue to track that is moving through. We have fewer reports or fewer verified reports right now of any damage across St. Joseph County, Cass County, or Elkhart County. If you have reports from Berrien County or LaPorte County or St. Joseph County, we're on Facebook Live right now. Continue to post there. Give us updates. Do you have power? Do you have power outages? Do you have damage to report? You can relay that information to us. The more reports that we get in, the more information we can give out. So we have crews everywhere, again, going different locations. As you can see, upper left, meteorologist Dave Caulfield probably found some emergency workers, first responders, coming to that damage there. In South Bend, we have rain pouring, and across most of St. Joseph County. I do not see a lot of reports of severe weather across St. Joseph County. Now, if you have ports to relay, First Warning Neighborhood mobile weather app. Great way that you can send pictures and information on to us. At Tom Coomes on Twitter. I'm standing by right now with my Twitter open, waiting to hear from you if you have reports to forward on. So again, we continue to look for any of these severe reports. Right now, again, the strongest wind report we had out of South Bend was for wind gusts up to about 50 miles per hour. New report coming in out of Marshall County from Donaldson. Emergency managers reporting thunderstorm tree damage, two large trees down across the area. And a similar happening right now in Plymouth. That's in Marshall County. Donaldson on towards Plymouth, and live on scene is ABC 57 First Warning Neighborhood Meteorologist Dave Caulfield with more. Dave.
Yeah, Tom. So we're still on South Michigan Street, heading south out of Plymouth, a little bit closer, heading towards the direction of Argus. But right now we are, the closest cross street to us is Nursery Street. And you can see off, sort of on the right-hand side, you see a police car in front of us, but you can also see a very large tree down over South Michigan Street, so sort of the main drag here. So cars are having to turn off at Charles Street or Webster Ave to sort of get around this hazard. This is a very large tree. It looks like from my vantage point, and I'm a little bit far away, but I can see that there's a little bit of rot at the bottom of the tree. Regardless, though, this is an extremely large tree that is now blocking South Michigan Street near Nursery Street in sort of the south side of Plymouth here. And so this is sort of the largest tree that we've seen so far, but really we just got into Plymouth and we have seen plenty of tree damage from that initial line of strong thunderstorms that have moved through. So we'll continue to keep you updated as we get more information, as we see more damage. But for now, live in Plymouth, meteorologist Dave Caulfield with ABC 57 News.
Are you still there, Dave? Dave, we're still live on air. We're going to continue on at least till 4 o'clock as we can continue to track this. But right now the warnings are up to 60 miles per hour. We can reevaluate as we head towards the top of the hour. But again, at least until 4 o'clock, we will continue on air based on the information that you're giving us, Dave. So these warnings continue to go until 4:15 to 4:30. But again, the threat appears to be decreasing. You're looking at a live radar picture. I'm about to tweet out that image that Dave just gave us. Large tree down in South Michigan at Charles Street in Plymouth. I'm actually doing this as I type this out to you again. So this is a line of severe thunderstorms. 2 warnings for 60 miles per hour. The threat is decreasing, but we verified that threat. So the tweet I'm about to put out right now, storm damage, large tree down on South Michigan at Charles Street in Plymouth. Reports. Dave Caulfield. Again, that's the line of severe thunderstorms that we continue to see, at least right now. Reports Dave Caulfield. Hashtag IN weather. And I'm going to forward this on to the National Weather Service. So that's the latest update and information here. We're going to stay on until at least 4 o'clock, but we still appear to see a lot of this kind of decreasing across the area. The updated timeline here, moving Goshen out towards Syracuse, 3:58, Syracuse by 4:08, and then LaGrange by 4:17. Not really seeing a lot of this line intensify, at least right now. So here's the line that continues to cut through. Let's watch it into Warsaw and give Warsaw that updated information. And as soon as we get more updates after that, again, we may be going off our wall-to-wall coverage here within the next 15 minutes. So be on standby for that. We're going to take you until at least 4 o'clock and maybe a little bit after as this line line goes in. We'll go until about 4:15 right now is our decision tree as far as what the threat is going. After that point, we'll keep you updated on the app, and if the warnings continue to intensify, we can make that change. But we're letting you know how long we're going to stay on with this programming, and this goes until about 4:15. Right now it's 3:57, and the line is continuing to move into portions of Kosciusko County. I'm going to update you on this timeline. We'll take off this old storm track, and we'll put on a new storm track. If Dave's still on scene there, that one in Plymouth, we can definitely take that shot again. The new warning is for 60 miles per hour. Is for 60 miles per hour, at least right now. We're following along with the mobile weather tracker there for more damage near Plymouth. We found one tree down there. This still is moving towards the east at about 50 miles per hour, so I'm going to update the storm track here. The leading edge is where the wind is on this storm. The leading edge is where the wind is, and so this is probably the most critical part of this timeline, and this will take us until about 4:15 as far as that threat moving into Warsaw. So I'm zooming in here. This is probably the most critical threat we currently see on the radar, and we have this verified. Mentone, Warsaw, North Webster. That's going to take us past to almost 4:15 based on this timeline. So this is why we're staying on air until 4:15. This is the rest of that threat. I know this doesn't look very impressive on radar, how you see that little thin green line, but that, however, is the gust front. That's the wind preceding the rain that's coming down. And so that's the warn part. That's actually what we're more concerned about. Yeah, all the pretty colors back behind it, that's some good old-fashioned heavy rain. But the wind is actually ahead of that line. And so that's why we're tracking off the front of this storm, the Warsaw area, Warsaw by 407. Warsaw, we have confirmed for you pockets of tree damage in Plymouth. You're along the same portion of that line moving towards you. So that's why we're giving you the first warning right now of the storm that continues to move through here that has confirmed tree damage. We've got another view of the mobile weather tracker. If we can go side by side here.
Back that way.
You can see the tree down. There's the Plymouth police on scene. And so we are warning you ahead of time for Warsaw, 4:07 p.m., for a line of storms that has the potential to do something like you're seeing next to us on the side of the screen. Meteorologist Dave Caulfield, you've been kind of driving around. You got to the other side of this storm damage. Looks like we've got things clearing out. Dave, talk to us for us.
Yeah, so Tom, torrential rain continues to fall in Plymouth as emergency crews are trying to work very quickly to get this tree off of South Michigan Street. So a little bit better location for you. This tree fell right at the intersection of South Michigan Street and Alexander Street on the south side of Plymouth. Now there was quite a bit of rot in sort of the trunk area, but still absolutely massive as we have crews trying to get this to the side of the road to sort of reopen South Michigan Street. It's a pretty major thoroughfare through Plymouth, but it's not just here. We have seen a lot of other tree damage throughout just sort of the downtown Plymouth area, especially sort of south of Plymouth. And as we sort of turn around here, I want to show you some of what else we found. There's, branches galore in the streets at this point as this moved past. We have people sort of taking their first survey of damage to their properties near their houses here. We've seen, garbage cans blown over, umbrellas blown over, that sort of thing. But here we have a rather large tree branch down, and we don't want to interrupt the flow of traffic at this point, but we do want to show you the extent of the damage. We have some tree branches down here on the side of the road on the south side of Plymouth as rain continues to fall. So the storm's not exactly done for Plymouth yet. The strong wind is, and already we're seeing sort of the damage left in its wake. And every turn that we make, we're seeing a little bit more of the damage that was left as these powerful storms went through. As we turn onto Bayless Street here in Plymouth, Not too much in the way of damage down here. You can see some trash cans are on their side at this point. A couple of bigger tree limbs, a couple of tree limbs actually on a roof that I'm seeing. Doesn't look like it broke through, but we're seeing emergency crews continue to respond. Oh, and look at this. Just on this house here, that tree has fallen on the roof here. Let's see, this street is Ewing Street and Bayless Street.
Obviously, Dave's signal going down just there, being supplied by cell phone signal. He is okay. But views you can only see from the mobile weather tracker confirming storm reports, which is why we want to get back on here to tell you if you are in Warsaw, if you're anywhere along Indiana 15 in Kosciusko County eastward, Warsaw to North Webster, stand by. The possibility of wind gusts exceeding 60 mile per hour is really possible. And you can see how it wasn't everywhere, but we saw an okay street and then we see a tree down across it. And then we drive around a little bit and then we find a tree down on a home. So the potential is there. We've verified it in Plymouth. This is why we have the mobile weather tracker. This is why we try to find those areas to confirm for you where is the threat. And this is why we're zoomed in here. Out of any other location on the map, I know there are other warnings. This is the one I'm most concerned about as we head towards the Warsaw area and why we're going to stay on to at least 4:15. So Warsaw 4:06, 3 minutes, giving you 3 minutes of lead time inside, away from windows. If you have trees, large trees in your neighborhood or on your property, we want you away from anything that could really hit that, get to the bottom floor of your house, even the basement, because I'm concerned about a tree falling on your house. Not necessarily the wind doing something to your house. It's what can fall on your house or on you. That's the message I'm giving you. This is the first warning we're giving you. 3 minutes, Warsaw, 3 minutes inside, away from windows right now. This leading edge moving in. I know this is more intense as far as the radar, but that wind is on the leading edge. Let me go out a little bit wider. We'll clear off some of this old information. And again, you can see a warning for 60 mile per hour across Elkhart County and warning for 60 mile per hour across Kosciusko County. And this is the view from the Elkhart rail yard. That view there, we kind of wait the storm moving through. We're seeing rain coming down, but we're not seeing the trees really blowing around or any major evidence of damage there. Taking you these views because this is a form of confirmation. Yeah, we broke into programming, so where was the damage? It wasn't necessarily everywhere. I do want to lead off some more information that I do have coming down the pipe, as far as we are the ones reporting the severe thunderstorm damage in Plymouth and Marshall County, but also out of Dowagiac. So if we have crews available to head towards the Dowagiac area, reports of thunderstorm damage, lots of branches down in the city of Dowagiac and without power. Lines are down in Dowagiac. So appears to be our bullseyes of damage reports so far coming out of Cass County and Marshall County, and had a report out of Fulton County. But it's been kind of hit or miss as far as widespread storm reports. But this is what we're seeing right now. Warnings for up to 60 miles per hour, outlined in black, still under severe thunderstorm watch. But if you are anywhere over here, you're out of the storm threat. LaGrange County, you'd be the only one still left in really any storm threat that we have left as we watch this line move through, and we've kind of seen this kind of decrease as far as any major intensity right now. So this line continues to cut through, but along this line, again, still looking for the potential for strong wind moving into portions of LaGrange County. So LaGrange, I want you on standby as well. I'm going to get an updated storm track here. We're going to update the storm track right across this line that has kind of merged. At one point, it was bowing in different directions, moving at different speeds. That warning for up to 60 miles per hour, that part of the line moving at about 45. I've been kind of drawing this line for approximately 50 miles per hour. As difficult as it sounds, sometimes portions of the same line of storms can move at different speeds. So this can kind of continue to cut in this direction. Giving an updated timeline of LaGrange by 4:18. So again, we plan to stay on at least till about 4:15 or so as the line moves through. We have not really seen an increase in the number of reports across the area, and in fact, I'm going to take an updated look at storm reports here in just a second after I clean up a few of these, but if we have crews available, I'm talking to people in the back. We have one in Plymouth already confirming. Dowagiac seems to be the other spot, at least right now, where we have a number of tree damage reports and other types of storm reports right now. So here's the latest look at the radar picture. Here's how the line is cutting through the area, and we continue to, again, focus in. Wind gusts up to about 60 miles per hour, and focusing in on this pretty tightly. Let me zoom in. We'll update that storm track once again for winds up to potentially 60 miles per hour into LaGrange County and Kosciusko County. And Warsaw, stand by. We're now at 407. That wind should be moving through your area right now. So this is the updated storm track timeline. Strong wind moving into Warsaw currently, where Plymouth is now in the clear pretty much of rain, but that's where we have the damage. Meteorologist Dave Caulfield on scene once again of more tree damage. This is that tree on the house in Plymouth. Dave, where are you at exactly?
Yeah, Tom. So before we got cut off there, I was telling you that we just happened upon some tree damage. This is at the intersection of Ewing Street and Bayless Street on the south side of Plymouth. You could see where that tree partially snapped and then fell on the roof of this house in front of us here in the mobile weather tracker. We are parked. We're talking with some neighbors right now who are trying to see if everyone is okay in that house, and just trying to assess the situation a little bit further. But right now we're seeing a couple of places with large trees down in the Plymouth area. A lot of just general tree damage. The rain is starting to lighten up, which is good news, giving people sort of a chance to do some additional damage assessment. But we're still happening upon sort of examples of damage in the Plymouth area after these strong storms went through. But the rain is starting to come to an end, which at least is good news, that we don't need to worry about any additional flooding concerns in this area.
As we continue to watch this line of storms moving towards the
and
east.
Also,
keep going, Dave.
oh, sorry, Tom. We're getting some sort of reports from those neighbors that we were talking to, and so that tree is actually it might be a little bit tough to see in our shot, but and through the raindrops, but it is. It has fallen on the power lines there on that house. So a lot of care is being taken with the emergency response to try and see if everyone's okay, to try and eventually clear this because of the fact that it did land on power lines. So people are just starting to see the full extent of the tree damage, and it is pretty extensive from what we have seen in the mobile weather tracker in the Plymouth area. Tom, back to you.
Dave, thank you for all your work, Dave. Again, the verification, we have helped to extend the warning through Kosciusko County. That's almost clear. The wind gusts have gone through Warsaw. We'll see what reports we start to get. We're going to be on air for 5 more minutes, and then this threat is pretty much clear. LaGrange, this will be knocking through at about 4:15, but we've really not seen this line intensify. It's only weakened in many spots. So you could have some damage, something close to that through the range, but we're staying on through 4:15 because this line is pretty much going to be done by about 4:15 p.m. We've seen the warning been extended towards Angola here. That threat continues for wind up to 60 miles per hour, but we've not seen a huge number of reports except for what meteorologist Dave Caulfield has found in the mobile weather tracker. There may be more reports out there. I'm at Tom Coomes on Twitter right now. I was actually just tweeting Dave's information, another relay for another report to the National Weather Service. I've had a cluster of reports coming in out of Cass County. I've not had a lot of reports out of St. Joseph or Elkhart County, and that's not a bad thing. That's just telling us, well, was there strong wind there? It may not have been here. The warnings were for wind, but not everywhere was it widespread. Moving through, we had the most reports coming in out of the Plymouth area, kind of cutting into the Warsaw area and almost clear of Kosciusko County and about to move into LaGrange County. So here we are at 411. Currently at 411, 2 warnings for up to 60 miles per hour. This top warning goes until 4:30, but that stretches all the way out towards Angola. This warning going till 4:15. We're going to take you to 4:15. If we had a flare-up of severity, we would update you on that, but we're just not seeing that. Let's pull up our storm reports, and you'll see here on the map a cluster of reports, the 2 out of Plymouth, 1 out of South Bend, and then the reports out of Cass County. So Dowagiac, lots of branches down in the city of Dowagiac with power lines down in the street. That was reported at 3:35 p.m. If you have more reports, we love to hear them. We forward them on to the National Weather Service. Best way to get a hold of me in this situation is typically on Twitter, but if you're on Facebook Live following us along with us, give us those reports there as well. Report out of Fulton County near Kewanna, 8-inch diameter tree down in a yard, so we did have some tree damage in portions of Fulton County as well, but pretty much the hardest hit spot was primarily in Marshall County. That's the one spot that we have seen so far. Here we are at 412. 412. We'll continue on for 3 more minutes as we continue here. Here's the updated warning map. Notice there's no longer any pink back towards Chicago. Seeing that there, we're no longer under the warning in Chicago. So this is the updated storm map as we take you to 415. North Webster, Ligonier, LaGrange. That's pretty much it as far as this line even continues, and the line is moving through there right now. So about to move into LaGrange, the last spot on our map to really give you that first warning for wind gusts that might be topping 60. I'm probably thinking most reports in here have been in the 40 to 50 mile per hour range, but LaGrange, you're next. We're here for you. The storm threat has pretty much kicked through most of Kosciusko County, except for the southeast corner there towards Columbia City. But Warsaw, the strongest wind has moved through there. We'll see if we get more storm reports that move through. We might get an updated wind report out of the Weather Service office. That's where the radar dome is right there. And then we have the line now moving into LaGrange County. 1 minute. And we're going to return you back to regularly scheduled programming. We'll leave storm mode here. And again, we'll go back to normal storm coverage. We'll give you an update. I'm going to post another update to the First Warning Neighborhood mobile weather app by around 4:30. And of course, we have extended coverage coming up at 5 o'clock on ABC 57 News. So we're here for you as we continue to see this line just now moving into LaGrange County right now. That's the current situation there. Checking for a quick update, anything from the National Weather Service. They had a report of 60 miles per hour in Winona Lake. So remember, Warsaw, we told you to stand by, and the updated information that just came in was that a 60 mile per hour wind gust went through the Warsaw area. And because of that, the warnings are now being extended now into portions of Whitley County, Noble County, and on towards Fort Wayne. We are here. Updates on the app coming at by 4:30, and of course live on ABC 57 News starting at 5. Stay with us.